Welcome to episode 5 of Swiss Army Sports. I'm your host, Will Spain, former Troy Trojan long snapper, also attended Austin Peay State University and a couple other schools. I am joined by my co-host, Luke, the Nuke Wallman,
Oh, it's a
former,
nickname.
I'm going to give it to you, offensive lineman for Hendrix College. Again, it's jersey reveal time. I am repping the Justin Herbert baby blue Chargers jersey, and Luke in a little throwback here. Cleveland
Joe
Browns,
Hayden.
Joe Hayden, love it. Let's dive right into what we're going to get into. So, just a couple task keeping things here. New role for Big Mike. Michael is no longer going to be as active on the actual show. However, he's going to be moving into a full-time producer role, creating content for y'all to see on Instagram, TikTok, editing our videos, posting on Spotify, producer stuff. Anyway, he's still gonna be writing picks.
Yeah.
He just won't be here to defend himself, so it gives us a free shot to take whatever he says. We're gonna give you our college football week 3 picks. A little new segment this week. We're gonna give you a breakout player for week 3 for each of us. Then we're gonna dive into our now full slate of best college football bets. We're gonna give you the full NFL slate picks, our best NFL bets. Dabbling back into the fantasy world. Who to pick up on the wire? A little waiver wire action. Big card this weekend. Noche UFC. It delivered last year in the Sphere. We'll see if it delivers again this year. Noche UFC talks and picks, and then one of our favorites to do at least.
Mm-hmm.
Who's hot and who's not. Today is September 10th, 2025. Let's get rolling. All right. One more game added this week due to a little personal interest invested between the pod and the pod's conglomerates. Memphis heads to Veterans Memorial Stadium in the beautiful town of Troy, Alabama. Population
is a beautiful town. A block.
A block. Represent A block. A beautiful town. Population roughly 19,000. Doubles on game day. The Tigers have an 11 a.m. contest. I believe it's on ESPNU if you want to tune in.
It's on one of the ESPN channels. I know.
I would tune in if I were you because the Troy Trojans gave you a little taste last week. This is a new Troy team. Year 2, Jared Parker. Let me drop a little name for you. Trey Taylor. Let me do it again. Ra Thomas. There's a saying in Troy. The goose is loose. Now, inside source says the Tigers think Goose resembles Stevie Wonder. Well, let me tell you, they're going to find out that Stevie Wonder can, in fact, deliver dimes to an elite skill position group. Ethan Connor at tight end. Where do we even get started? Offensive line, seasoned veterans. Defense looked incredible against Clemson. Final score prediction for me, I'm going to go 38-28. Troy wins at home against some team out of Western Tennessee. Luke?
I'm going to have to agree with the Stevie Wonder.
For
quarterback. They have some very good receivers on the outside and some weapons. I think Taylor was suspended for the first half of last year's game because of targeting against Nevada on that onside kick, if I'm not mistaken. So
you are, in fact, not mistaken.
It was, now I'm not going to lie, I was watching that Nevada game. It was hilarious because he Supermans at the dude, which was totally unnecessary. But so he did miss a little bit of time.
So, and I want to give an asterisk here. Whatever you're about to say about Goose last year in the game, he did get knocked out cold the second drive of the game. Like,
I wasn't even going to mention him because he did. I think, did he get hurt in the Nevada game?
So, concussion week 1, concussion week 2. Do the math.
Yeah, I was not going to go into that, but he is a little bit of Stevie Wonder. I get they did play Clemson, but 3 interceptions.
Did you see the picks?
I saw they were tipped. I think
one hit off the dude's ass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, 3 picks is 3 picks. And what I have liked, I get the Memphis quarterback is not the greatest, but he has not turned the ball over, even though they've played Chattanooga and Georgia State. But he has shown the ability to take care of the football. And I think it is going to come down to what quarterback takes care of it more.
That's a fair point. I will say, I think the edge at the end of the day, not being a homer, is Troy played Nevada last year, week
Mhm.
one. Tons of film on Brandon Lewis. The wide receiver they brought over, tons of film on him. I mean, those Memphis' two biggest weapons right now. We don't have Rock Taylor for the Tigers. We don't have Seth Hennigan. I think Memphis' defense is solid, and I think this is a sneaky underplay in the first half.
Yeah.
I do think in the second half, though, Troy has the better weapons than Memphis does, and it kind of takes over. And I respect the Memphis pick. Michael agrees with me. Obviously, you're seeing he's
Yeah.
rolling with the Trojans. I saw something in this Troy team that I hadn't seen my entire time playing there in 2024, and it's something I saw in 2023. This fight against a P4 team where you should have won. They should have beaten Kansas State. And should we have beaten Iowa? No, we got ran all over. Clemson did not beat us. If they did, it was so by such a slight margin. In any statistical category in that game, I think it's hard to pick against Troy at home.
Mm-hmm. Fair. I will say, I'm taking the over on Charlie Harrell special teams tackles at 0.5.
Wow, you heard it here first. This next game between Georgia Tech and Clemson has a lot of people upset hungry because of the way Clemson played against Troy last week. I think they're jumping the gun a little bit. Now, Haynes King is banged up. He's banged up. And I think that's going to be the ultimate difference maker here. A healthy Haynes King, you see a GT by my name. Absolutely. However, that Clemson receiver, the top receiver they have, is questionable. I think he'll suit up for this game. The reason I don't think he suited up last week is they didn't think they were going to have much of a problem with Troy and didn't want to risk injury. I think that's going to be a difference maker. I'm going to go low scoring affair here. 27-21, Clemson.
Well, as you think that the receiver didn't play last week, I read some stuff on Hayes King. That's the same reason he did not play last week.
Okay.
To suit up for this game and be even more healthy. And, dude, Hayes King is a dog. Before the season, I had Georgia Tech going, I think, 11-2 with both their losses being to Clemson. Clemson has not really impressed me. I get they didn't have their star stud receiver against Troy, but, like, no offense to Troy, they need to go out there, take care of business, and not let Troy hang around that long. They should win by like at least 3 touchdowns if Clemson's the top tier program that they should be. And I think in Atlanta, I mean, that is a Super Bowl. I think Georgia Tech wins like last second field goal, go ahead touchdown, win the game.
I mean, that's a fair analysis of things. And again, I think this is a close game throughout. Whether Haynes King is healthy or beat up, he's still going to provide for Georgia Tech. I just think Kate Klubnik kind of gets his stuff together this week against Georgia Tech, and they're able to eke out. And this will be a massive season vaulting win for Clemson if they're able to get it done. And I think we can't really shy away from our preseason predictions quite yet in week 3. This is a Clemson team that is locked and loaded and ready for a playoff run, and I don't think I can back down on that quite yet. I'm going to go with the Tigers. Michael agrees. Just for our Spotify listeners, Clemson. This next game, I don't get where y'all are leaning here because I heard Tennessee's 2 top corners are out. I don't think this game's even close. I understand the questions at quarterback, but give me Georgia 38-14.
See, Stockton. Here's where I have the issue. This Georgia offense, like we watched them play Marshall, and we didn't watch them play Austin Peay, but we kept up with it. This Georgia offense has not shown the ability to score. And I get their defense is star-studded, but the one thing Tennessee has shown is the ability to score. And, like, I hate Aguilar, but he has looked a lot better than I thought he would coming into this Tennessee system. So I just think Stockton's first true road game, you're at Neyland, which is a tough place to play. I think Aguilar is able to squeak it out there.
I think the moment's too big. And this is based off he has played East Tennessee State and a Syracuse team that had to beat UConn in overtime. The Syracuse team is a different problem in its own. I mean, it's falling apart internally. I just don't see how Tennessee gets this one done. And not to mention, Georgia's like 8-0 in their last previous 8 meetings. Give me the Dogs to steamroll the Vols. This next game makes me giddy. As you can see, if you've been listening to the podcast, we have grown into the biggest South Florida Bulls fans for no reason, only because they had me feeling nicey. They absolutely had me feeling nicey. Byron Brown, if he stays healthy this entire year, I do not see South Florida losing another game. If they're going to lose, Alex Golish has this program on the incline ever since he stepped in at USF. I think they keep it going. I don't think the stage is too big at this point. You had your big stage game last week. It's not like Hard Rock Stadium is worse than the Swamp. Now, I do think Miami's better than Florida. As we talk right now, I think Carson Beck surprised me in week 1 against Notre Dame. I just think this USF defensive front is a power forward defensive front that could compete in the ACC without a doubt. They're going to have no problem with American offensive lines. I don't think they have a problem with Miami's. I think Carson Beck is going to be panicked mode of this game. And not only that, you got to think Miami in the back of their head is thinking this entire time, we can't be the second team to lose to USF. We can't make USF the best team in Florida because they're a G5 school. I mean, that's always in the back of a Power 4 program's head is we can't be the next embarrassment. And I think this is kind of the first time Beck's ever been in that position. Georgia has never faced a G5 program that was like a legitimate chance to knock them off. Give me the Bulls in Hard Rock to knock off Miami and keep the boys in Tampa rolling. Luke, you agree?
I mean, I have to agree. And you basically hit on every point I was about to say. Alex Golesh has that program rolling. I mean, like, when do you see other coaches, when you go into Florida, and then after the game, they are DMing Florida commits? Like, I'm at USF. I don't think they're going to flip the USF. I just know they're not going to go back to Florida.
Absolutely.
That is an absolute, like, awesome mindset to have.
Dog move.
I mean, and I bought into the culture down there. And I just got one more question. I don't think Tulane and USF play each other.
No. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think at this point, their biggest game in the conference is Memphis. And I think Memphis does not match up well with USF.
Nope.
And I cannot wait for me and you. I'm going to call it now. I can't wait for me and Luke to be in the Liberty Bowl when USF takes down Memphis. I'm going to buy something green for this. I ain't going to lie.
I mean, they're definitely going to be in Memphis.
It's we are big on South Florida and on Swiss Army Sports.
But I want to say,
Go ahead.
I want to say one more thing. Tulane goes undefeated. USF goes undefeated.
What a banger.
Tulane beats Ole Miss, Duke, and Northwestern. Say winner. Do we get a American Conference bid playoff?
I don't see how you couldn't.
I mean,
The strength of schedule for both those teams is out the roof. It is better than, the majority of the ACC.
Yeah.
I don't see how you couldn't leave out a 12-1 Tulane or USF. Especially if USF goes on to win this game. I would say what solidifies that is if USF is the one that loses.
yes.
If they go on the road and beat Florida and Miami and they lose to an undefeated Tulane team, I don't think you could leave them out. Tulane, on the other hand, they beat Northwestern. Duke kind of hurt their SOS by getting blown out at home by Illinois. But if you go to Oxford, and again, I think Oxford's a big question mark right now in terms of Ole Miss's program. I think they could very easily win that game. the quarterback room at Ole Miss is a problem right now. And anyway, Michael's got Miami. Who you? I mean, probably the logical pick, but we're gonna be talking about this on Sunday, and I think me and Luke are gonna be high fiving.
Yeah.
Shout out producer. It ain't about the U, brother. I know you were big on them this year. The Bulls, they're running into the storm. This next game between Florida heading to Death Valley in Baton Rouge. I mean, we'll skim through the producer's pick here. He took Florida. I mean, he's staying true to what he said at the beginning of the season. He went with Clemson, Miami, Florida. He was big on all three of those teams at the beginning of the season. I don't see how LSU loses this game, especially after the letdown Florida had last week. I think this is where Billy Napier starts and I think this is completely unjustified. I think Billy Napier is a good coach. I think it has absolutely nothing to do with the coaching. I think his players are unable to perform when it matters the most. And I think DJ Lagway right now is massive disappointment. He can totally prove me wrong this weekend. Give me Nussmeier. At home, at night, in Death Valley, there's no chance. Give me the Tigers.
And I got to agree with I think Napier's a solid coach. I mean, I think they're coming for his head way too
early.
Too much. Because USF, solid team. Like, it's not like you just lost to the USF that was going 3-9.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just knocked off you. They beat the top 25 in Boise, and we think they're going to go beat Miami this week.
If they do, then it's a little more justified. That game is before the Florida game. You could see a little bit ease in tension if USF beats Miami on the CW. By the way, I mean,
CW,
what the hell?
Biggest game in their
history. It's overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Oh, we didn't give a score prediction. Sorry. USF. Grammatica, nothing came in field goal. 34-31. I think LSU is at night is a death trap for Florida. I'm going to go 28-10. I think Florida's got a good defense, and that's what's going to hold LSU to 28. I don't think Florida's going to be able to get anything going the way we saw them stifle Clemson. Give me the Tigers.
And another thing with Florida, LSU's defense is way better than USF's, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
So,
hope so.
I mean, they're not going to be able to freaking score if they could barely score against USF. And to you saying their players crap the bed when things get big, on that final USF drive, I mean, that screen pass, they missed like 3 tackles.
Yep.
You have got to be able to tackle if you want to be a big-time program. All of Saban's Alabama teams, great tacklers. I mean, if you look at even Ohio State's Urban Meyer or Florida Urban Meyer, they all were great tacklers. Tackling makes or breaks the game. And I just don't think Florida tackles very well in big moments.
Absolutely. We have 8-4 Texas A&M heading to Notre Dame. Yeah. I don't see A&M even coming close in this one. 2. CJ Carr did not look bad against Miami. I think Carson Beck just looked better. You obviously got to get Love more involved. Tough environment for A&M to head into. Marshall Reed's a great quarterback. A&M's just not built to win in big games. Give me a heartbreaker for A&M, actually. 42-38. A&M turns it over to the last drive.
Yeah, they did not look impressive against Utah State and UTSA.
Not at all.
I am not completely bought in. I've had A&M way lower than 16 in my personal.
Me too.
And I'm just not bought in. And, like, you're going to South Bend, which is a tough place to play. Like, it's a Notre Dame team that's had 2 weeks to scout you and who's hungry for that first win.
So much rest. And we don't talk about that enough when this matchup on the national scale, all the national media. Notre Dame's coming off a bye. I mean, they've been able to look and stare at Texas A&M as soon as they got back to South Bend from the Miami game. It just matches up too well for the Irish, for Texas A&M to go on the road and knock them off.
Now, I will say, if Notre Dame coordinators do the same thing,
they'll have issues.
They will have issues, and I think that game will be a lot closer than the spread is at 6.5 or 7.5 or whatever. So that is my only worry with Notre Dame.
Final game on the slate. I think this is a potential playoff eliminator for either team. Vanderbilt heads into South Carolina. Common opponent. Common opponent. South Carolina struggled to beat Virginia Tech on a neutral site.
Which really, they were the home team. It was way closer to South Carolina. They traveled a lot more.
Vandy went on the road and whooped their tail in the second half. That spread option that they were running against Virginia Tech with Diego Pavia is going to give South Carolina fits. And I think Vanderbilt this isn't your – Vanderbilt's been good in the past with James Franklin. They're returning to this level plus some. Clark Lee has built an absolute diamond in the rough in Nashville, Tennessee. New stadium, more flashy things, great academic program. You're going to be able to recruit. Nashville's a great place to recruit players to. And I think Diego Pavia is on a mission this year. He is on a mission. You've got the New Mexico State coordinator who was there last year, who was there with Diego when he was there. Give me Vanderbilt in a very, very high-scoring affair, 45-35.
I'm going to agree with you. I love Vandy in this game. Like you said, they dominated. And another thing, Diego Pavia can go into tough places and win. I know when he was at New Mexico State, he went into Jordan-Hare and beat Auburn.
He does not, struggle under the bright lights, and I love that about him.
And he's a dog. And like you said, he had the appeal thing with all the JUCO stuff, which not a big fan of, but still, he got it all passed. So he's coming out for a vengeance. I mean, if you're to come back,
you have to do something.
Yes, you're not going to come back and go 6-6, 7-5. You're going to come back and try and make the playoff. So, I mean, that's why I love Vandy.
And I think on this podcast, we're here for Vanderbilt playoff experience. Big Mike took South Carolina. Whatever. Moving on. All right. Now we're going to give you, me and Luke, one player who we think is going to pop off in week 3 of college football. I think we just touched on it. I'm going to hammer down on it again. Diego Pavia enters the Heisman conversation in this game. He looked unbelievable against Virginia Tech on the road. A Virginia Tech team that gave South Carolina fits on offense. I think he's going to rush for 60+ and probably throw for 250+. Give me at least 3 touchdowns. I think Diego Pavia reannounces himself on a national stage this week against South Carolina, the number 10 team in the country, by the way. And I think we see Vandy jump into the top 20. Luke, so I also agree with this.
I got Arkansas's quarterback, Taylor Green. Now, if you're going to let Kentucky score 23 on – now, I'm not saying Arkansas's got this prolific offense where they're dropping – which they are, and they're –
which they are.
I mean, they're 2 games, 52-56, but it's against Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas State. So it's not like you're doing this kind of top program. But Taylor Green is a very proven quarterback. I mean, this dude is athletic as all get out, and he can sling the ball around the field. I mean, he threw for 322 against Arkansas A&M with 6 touchdowns. And against Arkansas State, he threw for 4 touchdowns for 240. Now, he did have 2 picks. I didn't watch the game, so I cannot comment on that. But I think Ole Miss might be in a little bit of trouble this week.
Oh, they're lucky they weren't on the slate. I'm right with the Hogs to go into Vaught Hemingway and win that game. I think Taylor Green's the reason they do it. I think he's going to it's going to come down to quarterback play between him and Austin Simmons. And I think he's light years ahead of Austin Simmons right now. Give me the Hogs, and I love that pick with Taylor Green. All right. Me and Luke with our top 5 college football best bets. Now we're going to kind of go 1-to-1 here. Not going to just read them all off. We agree here.
Yeah.
Now that I'm looking. We both love Oregon, even though the kickoff is 9 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Central, heading into Northwestern at the minus 27.5 spread. I think that is a whale of a play. Mm-hmm. If you've got the money to throw it at this early and let it play itself out the rest of the day, sprinkle a couple of our other picks. But this is where you get your Saturday rolling. Oregon's going to win this game by 50, and I don't understand the line.
I don't either, because Northwestern is probably one of the worst Power 4 teams in the country. And if your argument is, oh, it's 9 a.m., it's 9 a.m. I played D3, and on game day, we'd wake up at like 8. So, I mean, I'm assuming they're doing the same thing this week. They're having early practices. They're trying to get acclimated to that time a little more. I just don't see how this thing's even close. So,
Absolutely. Hammer them. My next play is a line that I think is just grossly too close. Texas Tech at home against Oregon State. An atrocious Oregon State team, by the way. 0-2. They have lost to Fresno State last week. Have y'all seen Texas Tech play Vegas? They run the score up. They are dropping 60 against Oregon State this week, who cannot play a lick of defense against a competent offense. Texas Tech minus 23.5, another whale of a play here. I could not think of a better spot for Texas Tech to just run up the score against another weak Power 4 team in Oregon State, just like we talked about with Northwestern. These two games are identical in my mind in the way it's going to go. But you get Texas Tech at home, Tortilla's going to be flying, boy. 23.5, lock it in.
See, I love Texas. I wanted to put them, but I'm like, I cannot copy 2 picks. I gotta go veer off somewhere a little different. But this Arkansas Ole Miss game. Now, Ole Miss, we know can score. Same with Arkansas. Now, if Kentucky's scoring 23 on Ole Miss's defense, you're telling me Arkansas cannot score 30 plus along with Ole Miss scoring 30 plus? I mean, all they got to do is score 33-30. Somebody win. I mean, I just think that over is a great play this week because of the two offenses and the suspect defenses on both sides.
I agree 100%. I would love to play that over. I talked about it earlier. I love Georgia minus 3.5 at Tennessee. I just don't think Tennessee's going to be able to match up with Georgia's weapons. Gunnar Stockton is going to have no issue throwing against these backup corners for Tennessee. They're going to get exposed with their youth and inexperience. Georgia minus 3.5. I'm not going to say it's a whale of a play, but I love this play. I think it's a fun play. You're going to be involved in a big game. And I just don't see how Georgia loses the game. And if they're going to win the game, I think they win it by more than a field goal. Give me the 3.5 comfortably.
And I think my brother, Edward, I think he's going to game day.
That is awesome.
I think he's going to go to the game, too. I got to text him to see if he's got tickets, but I know my mom said he's going to game day, so that's got to be sweet. But back to my play, Ohio State's the best team in the country. I don't see how Ohio scores. I don't care if they have the returning quarterback. I know they're coming off a win against West Virginia at home. They lost to Rutgers by 3. I just think Ohio State easily can score 5 touchdowns and go 35. I just don't see Ohio being able to score in this game.
I agree. Ohio looked good against West Virginia. Again, I think it's a tough season for the Bears. A little bit of a rivalry game. I don't know if you know this. Kind of trailing off. I sent a video in our group chat earlier this week. I think it's more than a decade ago, but less than 20 years ago, the Ohio Bobcat ruthlessly from behind attacked Brutus the Buckeye.
And I love it.
I think Ohio State, I agree with you, is going to kind of take that out on the football team, 10 years removed. Ohio State minus 30.5 against Ohio at home. Love that play. Okay, me and the producer talked about this one today. This is another whale play. Western Michigan is not going to be able to score against Illinois, who has shown a prolific defense. And damn, can Illinois score? Can Illinois score? Are you telling me that Illinois is going to beat Western Michigan by less than they beat Duke at home? Absolutely not. Give me the Fighting Illini, a top 10 program in this country, by the way. Don't care what the AP poll says. Minus 27.5 at home versus West Michigan. Lock it in. Whale play. And by the way, before you say Florida, but this one too.
Yeah.
Great play.
Now, there are some weird matchups this week with Iowa State at Arkansas State and Utah at Wyoming. But if you have Arkansas that's going to go out and drop 52 on you, I very easily think Iowa State could beat you by 3 touchdowns. I mean, Iowa State is going to dominate up front. I think Rocco Beck is going to do just enough, just kind of like throw dink and dunk, and they're just going to pound it down Arkansas State's throat. I don't see how this is this low. I guess it's because it's at Arkansas State again.
Yeah, weird spot in a weird location. I bet. So when I played Arkansas State, they don't have a fan base for football. Weirdly, it's a kind of a good location to have one. They were decent that year. They had like maybe 30 students there. I do bet they packed this one out.
Yes.
I just don't think it's a good enough team to compete. And so I wholeheartedly agree with your play here. We talked about it. The line is massive. What? 17.5? You're giving me 2 touchdowns and a field goal for the best G5 team in the country against Miami? USF Faithful is going to be there in the Hard Rock Stadium. Give me the Bulls plus 17.5 at Miami. Our 4th whale play of my slate. Whale play. Are you kidding? Y'all did watch the game last week, Vegas. You saw what they did against Boise State. You really think Carson Beck's that much better? Come on. Give me the Bulls. Plus. Give me the points. 17.5 at Miami. Luke, you had me liking this play. I was a little hesitant about it because of how the team at home has looked in terms of defense. They haven't really given up much points, except against a prolific North Texas team that we were pretty big on beginning of the year. They skate out with the wind. Talk to me about it.
I love Utah. Utah looks like an absolute freaking team that's going to win the Big 12 this year. But Kyle Whittingham said in all of his years with this program, I think he got there in 2006, they have the best offensive line they've had all year. You have the top-rated guard, or the third-rated guard in PFF last year, 2 first-round tackles that are projected to go in the first round of the NFL draft. They're going to run the ball down Wyoming's throat, and I don't think this is even close. Utah, I mean, they beat UCLA at UCLA. Granted, UCLA is not really a home field advantage for them, but I mean, they beat them by 30. I think they easily beat Wyoming at Wyoming and just hammer them.
Is that a whale play?
Might be my only whale play.
Whale play. Love it. Moving on. Week 2 of the National Football League. We're going to break down now our full slate picks, including the producer. We're kicking it off with tomorrow night's game. Thursday Night Football. Banger of a matchup, by the way. When did the NFL start giving us bangers on Thursday nights? The commies of Washington, D.C. head in to Lambeau Field and face the Green Bay Packers, who I am very surprised at how good they looked. Now, the question is, and the reason I was actually kind of flip-flopping in this game, I wasn't impressed with how Washington was against New York. New York has no offense. The fact that they only scored 21 against, again, a decent Giants defense. I don't know if Green Bay was good or if Detroit misses Ben Johnson that much. But I'm going to take the Packers at home, especially since we're doing straight picks on this. Give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think the win percentage in the NFL at home is like around 65%. And Washington, like you said, did not impress me. I mean, they should have beat the Giants by a lot more. I mean, the Giants are a bottom feeder team in the NFL. And I think Lambeau's a freaking tough place to play. And like you said, they did beat, I do think it's Ben Johnson-less a little bit, but Detroit still got weapons.
Absolutely.
I mean, Goff is a good quarterback. You got Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta. You got weapons everywhere. And I just don't see how they can lose to the Redskins this week. I mean,
moving on, noon kickoff. The New York Football Giants head to Jerry World, AT&T Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas, Arlington, Texas, and face our Dallas Cowboys. We sweep the board here, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I was so wrong by saying the Giants would be the best 4-13 team I've ever seen. They are horrible. And If they start Jackson Dart, maybe you see a little bit of a spark. It ain't gonna be enough against Dallas. That Dallas defense, especially up front, surprised a lot of people in Week 1 against Saquon Barkley. Granted, the Eagles are definitely dealing with some offensive line issues, and not having Jalen Carter there definitely played a role with the Cowboys' offense. However, I think the Cowboys should be able to establish a running game with Javonte Williams, who I was very impressed with in his debut for Dallas. Dak Prescott's going to throw all over the secondary with the elite weapons he has outside with Tolbert. CeeDee Lamb is. Have you seen CeeDee Lamb? There was an inside source at the Cowboys who said he feels bad for the Giants this week. CeeDee Lamb has been showing up 3 hours before practice and hitting the jugs machine. He will not be surprised if CeeDee goes for 3 touchdowns and 225 plus. The Cowboys are going to destroy the Giants this week. And fun fact, Dak Prescott, undefeated, 9-0 against the New York Giants.
I was literally just about to say that. You stole my line. He does always beat the Giants. But another thing that I don't know if you saw this, Deron Bland hurt his foot. I think he's going to be out for like 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, it's not going to matter in this game, but it is something just to kind of throw out there. I just don't see – we never lose to the Giants not with Dak. I mean, as you obviously stated, but I just don't see how this thing's close. If it was in New York late in the season, maybe. But at home, I just don't see.
Home opener? Come on.
Yeah.
This next game
let's
piques
hear it, Will.
my interest. I think the Titans were a couple drops away from beating the Denver Broncos, who y'all are so big on. I was not impressed with the Rams at all. 14-9 against, I think, a bad Texans team. Give me Tennessee in their home opener. I think Cam Ward wants to show out for his home team in his home opener. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, but I think Cam Ward does enough, and I think his receivers like Calvin Ridley get their head out of their butt, score some touchdowns. And I think this is going to be a win for the Titans at home. And this is just due to I was pleasantly surprised by Tennessee, and I just was not impressed at all with L.A. Having to travel across the country to Tennessee last season in Nissan Stadium. So last season opener, rookie trying to put on for his home team crowd. Give me the Titans.
See, I know that Denver game is close, but one thing you saw from that Denver front, they ate.
They did.
Feasted. And I'm not saying this Rams front is the Denver front, but this Rams front is still very good. I mean, and I just think that's going to be the difference maker this game. They're going to get after the quarterback, and I think they're just going to make Cam Ward run around a little too much. I think it's close. I think the Titans are going to lose by maybe a field goal, but like I was not impressed with the Rams either. I just think this front is too good. I mean, I just don't think that the Titans are going to be able to hold them.
Fair enough. Sorry, the producer picked Green Bay, Dallas, and L.A. We did not go over that. The producer went against us here. He picked Seattle on the road in Pittsburgh with an Aaron Rodgers that looked very comfortable and good in this Steelers offense. Me and you agree here. Seattle is trash, and Pittsburgh looked good. So I thought the obvious pick was Pittsburgh. Mikey didn't agree, but you have anything to add on that?
I will say, I think that the Steelers gave up 4 sacks week 1.
Yes.
If Rodgers continues to get hit, it's going to be an issue.
But week 2, I don't think it is.
I know. I still think you have to contain Leonard Williams.
100%.
If you don't contain Leonard Williams, he's going to do just like his brother or cousin or whatever it is, and he is going to go get after Rodgers. But if they can just protect him, he's going to play all season. He's 42, I think. If he's not protected, this is long term now. I think they win this game comfortably, but if he does not get protected, we're going to be looking at Will Howard entering.
Yikes.
So this next game, I thought about this, Will. I was this close to doing
Dude,
it, but
I think this wakes some people up in the NFL. There's going to be a lot more parity this year. No one's going to dominate like they have the past couple of years. The producer and you agree. Buffalo heads into MetLife and beats the New York Jets. I disagree. But I want to hear from you first. Why does Buffalo get this done? Since you did flirt with it.
I just think Josh Allen, man. I think
he is the X factor.
I think this is a close game down the stretch, and I mean, I just think Josh Allen gets it done. He proved it last week, having that massive comeback on a great game to kick off the first weekend or whatever to the slate. And I just think that is going to be the X factor. And I think this Jets team is really good. If this was like any other team in the NFL, I'd roll with the Jets, but I just don't think they're beating the Bills this week.
So after watching week one, I've come to the decision that Jets were going to split with the Bills. This is obviously the spot to do it. Early in the year, you had an absolute banger of a game for the Bills last week. I think it's a little bit of a letdown spot.
See, I think they split. They play him in week 18. I think they rest, and that's where they get it. So
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Wow. Imagine if the Jets sweep the Bills.
that would be awesome.
That would be electric. Let me just say, this Jets defensive front is going to give Josh Allen fits, and I think it makes him uncomfortable. Now, Josh Allen, don't play maker outside the pocket. He's going to have to do that against this Jets team. But I was just so impressed with how Justin Fields was. I mean, I think you saw Lamar pick apart this Buffalo secondary. I think he's going to have, and I think the Jets have more weapons with Garrett Wilson than Baltimore does. And I do not think Lamar Jackson single-handedly won them that game. I mean, we've got Breece Hall, who is not Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry ran all over the Bills. I think Breece Hall is going to run for 100+ this weekend. I don't see why not. Give me the Jets at home. Lost a heartbreaker last week. I think I'll be a little hungry. I think I'll be a little hungry to make a statement. This Jets team, I think, has some inner belief that they can compete this year in the NFL. Give me New York.
No, I love that pick, man. It's close.
We swept across the board here. Ben Johnson returns home to Detroit. I think that's enough to be said. Detroit is going to put on for this one. And the way the Bears lost against the Minnesota Vikings, I just don't think they'll be able to mentally overcome it that quickly. That they had that week one win in their hands, and they let known winner J.J. McCarthy strip it away from them. Give me the Lions if you're playing money lines, in a whale play. We sweep across the board here with the producer. It's a good bounce back spot for the Lions.
Yeah, I want to say, I think it was over like Goff's time, I think, in Detroit. I think he's like 8-0 on the bounce back, covering the spread or something like that. So I like them to cover. I mean, I think they're like, you chose to leave when this is our year. Screwed you, Ben Johnson. Screwed you, Bears. And we're going to run this thing up.
I agree. Dan Campbell's going to run the score up here.
Yeah.
The Browns have business being in the same stadium as the Ravens, especially the way the Ravens lost last week. They're going to take out all their frustration from their Sunday Night Football loss on this poor Browns team.
I feel bad, yeah.
And I do. Because Joe Flacco truly is a great game manager and made some plays that could have beaten a Bengals team that everyone's pretty big on this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ravens across the board, no brainer. And, I mean, that segues us into these next two picks. I think these next, including the Ravens and Detroit, these 4 games should be no-brainers.
Yeah.
And this New Orleans Saints team did make a late comeback against Arizona. And, again, if Brock Purdy doesn't play, it's –
They have, what is their – hold on, let me look.
Yeah, please do. Anyway, I'll dig on the Saints here. Spencer Rattler did kind of come back against Arizona. Again, this is an Arizona team. Oh, it's Mac Jones. Mac Jones is going to beat the Saints. I mean, this Saints team is horrible. Why are we even talking about this? Christian McCaffrey may run for 200 himself. Mm-hmm. This Saints team is going to be bad this year. I think everybody knows that. And they're not getting their 1 or 2 wins against San Francisco this week.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I might be wrong, but I think they're Kittle-less. But
they are Kittle-less.
It's not going to matter. Even if they're Kittle-less and Purdy-less, the Saints are a dumpster fire. Now, I don't think they're the worst.
I think that's why that line is so low, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think they're the worst team in the
NFL.
NFL.
I don't. And
I mean, that's our next team in the Dolphins. I think they are by far the worst team in the NFL. But, I mean, I think Niners, they take care of business. They at least win by a touchdown. I mean,
I agree. Speaking about the worst team in the NFL, This Miami Dolphins team got ran out the building by Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes. The New England Patriots lost to the Raiders last week. I'm still pretty big on this Patriots team. I think they're able to get the job done on the road in Miami. Relatively no sweat, despite the temperature being warm. Give me the Pats. The board agrees. Producer, you.
Yeah.
Man, this Miami team is hurting. They are just bad.
And you can see the I think it's a little breakdown in culture. Did you watch Mike McDaniel's post game presser?
No, I did not see it. Tell me.
So he's in there talking. They're like, "What do you think about Tua? What's he got to do to stop throwing interceptions? He's got to play better." He's answering flat answers like that, and they asked him about, who got hurt? I think Jalen Waddle. Do we think he's gonna be ready to go? Yeah, we'll see when we get there. I mean, those are flat answers from a head coach, and he's not your Belichick where he's like. I mean, this dude is usually kind of a more, I wouldn't say high energy.
Do you think he's lost belief in his team?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I think he's lost the locker room. Tyreek Hill in the first quarter was freaking out on the sidelines. I don't know if you saw that. He's throwing his helmet, just absolutely complaining to one of the coaches. And I think that trickle down effect, it's going to affect Tua. It's all going to come on to Tua, and Tua's just going to start airing it out, and there's going to be a defender there. So
yeah, shout out Del Pettis. Get one this week. I floated with this pick, Luke. Me and the producer agree. The Bengals do enough to get the job done. This is a good Jaguars team. Better than I anticipated. Tell me why they're going to win.
Defensive line. You got Eric Armstead, Josh Allen, Trevon Walker, all up on that front. I mean, I get the Browns have
Bengals.
Myles Garrett. Last week.
Oh, last week, yep.
The Browns have Myles Garrett.
And Myles Garrett is absolutely why the Browns were in that game.
Yes, I know. And I just think that the Jaguars across the board front is going to be just as good as one Myles Garrett. So I think they eat this Bengals team alive on the inside. Because that offensive line was awful. It was worse than last year's. I thought last year's was okay because they kind of gave Burrow time. Awful. And I think they get after the quarterback. I think Lawrence has a good game. Lawrence played all right last week.
I will say this. The one thing that went with the Bengals here, I do think they have the better offense overall. And the defense gave me some hope last week. They actually played okay, again, against a lesser opponent in the Browns. But Joe Flacco's been known to be able to throw the ball around and score some points. They only got 16, a lot by field goals. I like the Bengals at a home spot here. Yeah, I think we're all disappointed with how the Cardinals play against the Saints, especially late in the game. Plus, I don't think any of us saw the Panthers losing week 1 against the Jaguars. Great bounce back spot. Bryce Young's got some haters again. He's got some haters again. This is where he proves them wrong. Tutorial McMillan, big game.
Yeah, and that's last year when he was getting bench him. Dude, he went off for the rest of the season. He almost beat the Chiefs. I mean, I think if Bryce Young has a bad game here, I'm super worried about my Panthers and their future because I am high on them this year. I thought Bryce Young would look a lot better week 1. I think this Cardinals team is very bad. I think they've got good pieces. Overall, very bad. So I would just think that they win by at least a touchdown.
100%. Me and the producer are also with the Panthers here. Great bounce back spot against a struggling Cardinals franchise for the past 5 years. Love this next game. This next game is going to be a banger no matter who wins. This is a new Daniel Jones in Indianapolis.
I don't think he's a new. I think he's going back to the old where he got paid and he friggin' went into Minnesota and won that playoff.
You are 100% correct. Danny Dimes is back, and he is going to expose this fraudulent, disgusting Denver Broncos team who almost lost in a home opener in a rookie's first start for the bottom-feeding Tennessee Titans. Give me the Colts at home. Come on. And they may blow them out.
See, I wouldn't go that far. I really do think this is a very close game because this Bronco defense, whether you like Bo Nix or not.
Oh, they're good. That Bronco defense is the only thing that gives me the Broncos hope to make the playoffs. It ain't Bo Nix. And Bo Nix looked freaking awful week 1. Shot y'all plenty of text about that.
Yeah.
It's a better Colts defense than a better Titans defense. The Colts are better than the Titans defensively. They're going to give them fits.
I'm just really I would not be surprised if the Colts won, but I want to see if Danny Dimes can replicate.
100%.
Because you're going up against one of the worst defenses in the NFL in Miami against now the best. So I just am going to ride to defense wins championships, and that's why I picked Denver.
Fair enough. The producer, known glazer of Bonegs, obviously agrees with you. I and you wholeheartedly disagree with the producer here. Is a banged up offensive line for the Eagles? There's no way the Chiefs start 0-2. The NFL won't allow it. Give me Kansas City. That's it alone. The NFL will not allow Kansas City to start 0-2. Home opener, Super Bowl rematch. We know how Super Bowl rematches go. I mean, we know how they go. Patrick Mahomes is going to ball out this week for down since day one-ish in fantasy. And the Kansas City Chiefs, 1-1.
Now, I flirted with this game only because I don't know if Xavier Worthy's playing this week. And you're going to tell me no.
Give me Hollywood Brown, dude.
I mean, I know, but like that is going to be your wide receiver, 5 at your wide receiver 3. I mean, that is a huge issue for Kansas City, which obviously Andy Reid, greatest play caller in the NFL. So he's going to do some wild stuff. But the only reason I'm going with Kansas City is because it's at home. If this was in Philly, I'd be Philly all.
I agree.
So that's why Kansas City.
So now we have a believer. Looking at the sheet, the producer picks the Minnesota Vikings, the best team in the NFC North this year. You heard me call it best team in the NFC North this year. They came down by 11 points in a rookie's first NFL start on the road in his hometown. J.J. McCarthy, once he got set on that game, looked like a playoff team quarterback against, I'm going to call it now, a good Bears team. They're a good Bears team that just does not know how to win. And part of the reason they don't know how to win is because they play teams like Minnesota. And that Minnesota defense got stingy at the end of that game. Yeah. And we're going to see them destroy Michael Penis and the Atlanta Falcons.
And another reason the Bears don't win is because it's the Bears.
The Bears.
Well, touch on McCarthy because I knew he'd coming out. He doesn't have all the arms, like all the super tangibles.
Arm strength looked great.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking like Josh Allen. I'm gonna launch this thing 90 yards, but dude wins. And when did you see the stuff what Aaron Jones was talking about him?
Yeah,
where
he commands the huddle.
I know. And JJ comes in. I want to pivot from that to Michigan. At Michigan as a freshman, all the linemen wanted to hate him because he's coming in like he's the dude. And they were all even the seniors, because this is a bunch of reports out of the camp. Dude, he commands the huddle. He commands respect. He knows how to run this offense. Even as a freshman, he is way more mature for his age at quarterback.
And I played with him at IMG. He was the same way. He is a winner who demands respect from his teammates and knows how to command his team. He is a leader in all the sense.
Mm-hmm. And what rookie quarterback, you played awful for the whole first half, part of the third quarter. After throwing that pick six, it's the fourth quarter now. What rookie quarterback in their right mind goes up to the huddle and goes, I'd rather be nowhere else than right here? Most rookies fold. They're just oh, the moment's too big. We've already lost. J.J. McCarthy said, hell no. We're going to go down. I'm going to throw for 2 touchdowns. I'm going to rush for 1. I'm going to lower my shoulder through this DB, and I'm going to score. That's why I love them. Take down the Falcons.
Yeah, Minnesota, one of the most electric home environments in the NFL. Home opener with their new quarterback that they're now falling in love with. Yeah, Vikings, well played. The Texans are terrible. The Buccaneers are pretty good. Yeah. Dude, Mbuka called his shot. You don't love to see anything more than that out of a rookie wide receiver with a quarterback like Baker Mayfield. Buccaneers by 2+ touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get to this.
Producer agrees.
We'll get to this on my next slide for our bets. But to touch on this, you have Derek Stingley. He's a little banged up. I've read reports he might play, he might not. I don't think it really matters if he's going to play banged up with a hip injury. He's not going to be able to keep up with either or try and be physical with Mike Evans. I mean, Mike Evans is way larger than and Stingley's already more of a positional. He's not a physical grab guy.
100%.
And then also what impressed me, the Bucks moved their center out to left tackle last week because I know Tristan Wirfs. That is awesome. That
The versatility of their offensive line
yes.
would make 31 other coaches in the NFL jealous.
Yeah. And I do think that this Texans front is solid. I think Will Anderson gets after the quarterback a little bit, but Vita Vea might beat triple teams on this freaking Houston Texans offensive line. I just don't see a way. They can't protect Stroud. It's just not going to happen. So that's why Bucks, give me them.
Fair enough. Again, I hate when the NFL does this because some of us do have to go to work, like me and Luke. 1 p.m. Central kickoff. Monday Night Football doubleheader. The Chargers head to the Raiders on Monday night. And the only reason I picked the Chargers here, other than the Raiders on Monday night, is Justin Herbert looks so damn good. Oh, my God. This is what we've been wanting to see out of you, Justin. You've got limited weapons, but you made Quentin Johnson look like CeeDee Lamb.
I know.
I mean, you single-handedly beat the Chiefs, and you're definitely going to single-handedly beat the Las Vegas Raiders out of Oakland.
See, I want to talk about this. I'm a little nervous. Geno threw the ball I know it's Patriots, and Patriots defense is not crapper, but he threw all over the Patriots. And I think Jacoby Myers is a great receiver. If Brock Bowers, which I think he will be healthy to play this week, great number 2 guy. Genty looks solid in his rookie.
He did.
Opener. I mean, I think this Raiders team could end up going and shocking a bunch of people.
So, and I want to talk about this, and I think you would agree here. I'm buying in on the Raiders if they win this game.
Yes, completely agree. But I do think the Chargers are the better team, and they should go in, handle business, and win.
100%. Go on to our NFL top 5 best bets between me and Luke. I am going to start us off with the Cowboys, -5.5 at home against the New York Football Giants. I think they're going to be able to overwhelm them this week. They looked great against the Eagles last week in a loss. And again, they should have won on multiple different occasions. Giants look terrible. Cowboys, -5.5. Whale play.
Now, I do not understand. This was even money. Pick 'em game. Give me the Patriots.
Absolutely.
There's no reason that the Dolphins should be even. The Patriots, at least, I get it's in Miami. The Patriots should at least be favored by 3 points, at the least. Just give me the Patriots. That is a whale play for me. I'm putting some money on that.
I love pick number 2 for me here. The Steelers, -2.5 against the Seahawks. Again, we talked about this. Aaron Rodgers looked great in week 1. Seattle defense, shaky. Again, good up front. We'll see if the Steelers offensive line can handle them. I do think Steelers win the game. If you win the game, I think more often than not, you're going to win by more than 2.5. I'm very confident in their ability to win this game. And their home opener, terrible towels going to be waving. Give me Pittsburgh, -2.5 at home against Seattle, and a shaky Sam Darnold.
Got a few anytime touchdown plays this week.
Love it.
So I think JJ to Jay Jetta's connection
JJ squared.
is going to be amazing this year. I mean, obviously did not feed him as much against a good Bears defense.
But you knew he was going to find him eventually.
Yes, and I think that's what, whenever they get in the red zone, it's not going to be Hawkinson. It's not going to be Aaron Jones. It's going to be, where's 18 at? I'm giving him the football. And that is why I think he scores again this week.
I 100% agree with that. I love this number with 2 decent to bad defenses and 2 really good offenses. 48.5 honestly does not seem enough in this Jacksonville versus Cincinnati game. I love the overplay here. I think both teams get in the 30s. I think we're in the 60s by the end of this game. Give me the over 48.5 Jacksonville versus Cincinnati, citing bad defense.
And then this baffles me.
Me too.
Baffles me. I cannot believe that the Bucks are underdogs against the Texans, which I think are a bad Texans team. We obviously already touched on their offensive line play. I think that the Bucks have a solid defense, and you have Baker Mayfield, and Stroud's going to be running for his life no matter who they play. So, I mean, I think the Bucks win this outright. I don't even think you got to play the 2.5, but we're playing the 2.5 to be safe.
And I do think it's a great money line play on the plus money. I do think Kansas City's going to win this game at home against Philadelphia. I think they have to score points to do it. Give me the over at 46.5 against the Eagles, who gave up 20 points to the Cowboys, scored 24. So there's 44 right there in a rain-delayed game where basically the offense did nothing in the second half. We saw Kansas City's ability to score against LA. We saw this is a weaker Eagles defense than past years. Yeah, I think we're comfortably over at 46.5 in this game. And there's just too many weapons all across the field not to be able to score for both these teams.
And then 49, again, you're giving me only 3 points. I looked at this. I had to close out my DraftKings and refresh to make sure this was actually right, because you're telling me you're giving me 3 points for the Niners against a really bad Saints team who Rattler obviously looked a lot better in the second half. But this Niners defense, Bosa's going to get after them. And, I mean, they have a solid defense. You have Saleh back at the helm. I just don't see how they don't win by a touchdown.
I wholeheartedly agree, at least, right?
Yeah.
Again, the Ravens heartbreaking last week against the Buffalo Bills, who are light years ahead of the Cleveland Browns. We get the Ravens at home opener against Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. Lay this massive NFL line of 11.5. They win by 3+ touchdown easily. Baltimore has a prolific offense. Defense is a little shaky, but again, we're basing this off them playing a great offense in Buffalo. I love the 11.5 against Cleveland. I believe this is a get-back game for the Baltimore Ravens, and I believe this is a whale play. Luke, I love this pick. I love this pick.
He's not even having the best odds or the favorite for a receiver on the Bills to score. It's Shakir. He had 11 targets last week. I'm pretty sure. No, he scored once, but 8 receptions, 112 yards, and a touchdown.
Josh Allen wants to find him.
Yes, and I mean, at the end of the game, who was he throwing that football to? It's not Shakir like it might have been last year. It is a second-year standout, Keon Coleman, who is also an athletic freak. And the Jets, I think they're both going to kind of score here. I don't think it's going to be your classic, like, 10-17 absolute grinder AFC East battle. I think it's going to be a repeat of last week with the Steelers and the Jets. And I just see Keon Coleman finding that end zone again.
I agree. So just go back over it. On my side, Cowboys -5.5 at home against the Giants. Steelers -2.5 at home against Seattle. The over at 48.5 between Jacksonville and Cincinnati. The over at 46.5 between Philadelphia and Kansas City. And the Ravens -11.5 at home against the Browns. Now, Luke.
I got the Pats money line. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover 2.5 against the Texans. 49ers -3. And Keon Coleman, an anytime touchdown.
There are your Week 2 NFL best bets from Swiss Army Sports. Moving on. Love a little fantasy talk. Love it. I looked this up, and he was a beast in college for LSU. Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver for the New England Patriots, scored 16.3 fantasy points last week, and they didn't even score much.
Yeah, I think they only scored 13 points, 10 points, right?
I believe they lost 17-10.
So, okay, yeah.
So, Kayshon Boutte, as we pull up his stats here, went for 103 yards against the Raiders last week. Let's pull up some individual stats here. Yeah. So, Keishon Butte played 58 out of 71 offensive snaps, 15 out of 21 two wide receiver snaps, and 43 out of 43 wide receiver snaps. And I want to pull up his targets. Here we go. This was incredible. 8 targets, 6 receptions, a long of 24, no touchdowns, and he got 16 points. Guys, on Yahoo Fantasy, he is rostered by 1% of teams. If you need a receiver to pick up and fill a flex spot, Keishon Butte should absolutely be who you're looking for. Luke, I love it. I love a good tight end pick.
Shout out to the Mac. This guy should have been the Mackey winner last year. I mean, I do not know why he did not win it over Tyler Warren. He had the stats, the touchdowns, everything. Now, Flacco loves his tight end. Loves to throw it to him. He had 7 receptions, 9 targets for 63 yards. 13 points from a tight end is immaculate, in my opinion. And they're going to be playing the Ravens, who need to throw the football. They're going to throw the football against them because they're not going to be in this game. I mean, I think he's rostered 2% of all leagues. And we know tight ends in fantasy are a very struggling breed. Dude, this dude even goes half of what he did last week. I think it's a solid.
Moving on. UFC. Nothing gets me fired than a banger of a fight night. This is free, y'all. This is free for your viewing. Noche UFC delivered last year the Sphere. We're not the Sphere this time, but the card rivals just as much. We have finishers on this card. And not to mention, this is a great fight weekend. Little shout out to Canelo Alvarez fighting Terrence Crawford Jr. on Netflix, I believe. Also free. Fight fans, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm going to find a way at the Wallman House to get this one on ATV.
We're setting up that 4th TV. I will be having that.
There we go. 4 TVs at Luke's house this weekend, needed for bangers like this. So we're going to start out with the main card only picks. We both love Kwong Lee in this spot against Santiago Luna, making his UFC debut.
Yeah.
Plus 105 for the Vietnamese guy on the money line. And I'll just kind of tell you why I like him. He is 9-2. He's a UFC non-debutant. He gets 22% of his wins by knockout, 44% by sub, and 33% by decision. This is why I liked him so much. The guy he is fighting, Santiago Luna, is a ground submission artist. Lee is 100% on his takedown defense in the UFC. If he doesn't get taken down and this fight stays on the feet, give me Lee by knockout.
Yeah.
If we're going to go specifics.
That is, I want to clarify. I've just gotten into the UFC, so all my picks are based off stats. But that was the first thing. I looked up this other dude's name after the website didn't have anything. I saw ground. Okay, how can he control or takedowns? Lee, I saw the 100%, and I'm like, that's a lot. I mean, as long as he doesn't get taken down, I think he's great.
100%. Next fight, Kelvin Gastelum is fighting Dustin. Forgive me if I botched this. Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus plus 210 on the money line. Gastelum minus 250. I honestly flirted with Dustin here. 2 veterans. With Gastelum at 20-10-0 1-0 contest. Dustin 16-7. Both coming off a loss. Both relatively win in the same, kind of sphere. If we're going to go specifics, I like Gastelum by decision here. I think it goes to decision. Average fight time is a big advantage for Gastelum here with 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Stoltzfus, or we'll just call him Dustin, 9 minutes only. I mean, their stats are just very similar. They absorb about the same amount of punches. They land about the same amount of punches. Both have decent, significant striking defense. Neither of these guys, they do like to go to the ground, but they both kind of are average on takedown defense. So I think whoever goes to the ground is going to win this game. I think Gastelum is going to be able to defend Dustin's takedowns, and I think that's going to be able to get him a decision win after these 3 rounds. You agree?
Completely agree. I looked at this and I was like, these guys are the same. This dude's favored by he's got the minus what'd you say? Minus
258.
minus 258. I'll ride with him. So that is my reason for picking him.
Again, guys, if you're a UFC diehard, forgive Luke. We have got him into it. Now, he is fired up for UFC. He's currently a casual, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
I mean, it's been like maybe a month since I started watching, so I'm trying to get into it. It's super entertaining. So
We do love it.
I'm trying.
Third fight of the night on the main card, Rafa Garcia against Jared Gordon. Both boys coming up a win. Garcia 17-4, Gordon 21-7. Now Gordon has the height advantage, but Garcia with a 2-inch reach. Give me Gordon. And I think he gets it done. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think he gets it done by knockout. So he lands roughly 5.6 significant strikes per minute, while Garcia only lands 4. He's 55% on his significant strikes, and he just doesn't absorb many. 3 absorbed strikes per minute is pretty low for a fighter on average. Garcia allows himself to get hit at roughly 4.5. Neither fighter really goes to the ground because they're both good at takedown defense. I know that Garcia likes to go to the ground. I just don't see this fight going to the ground. And I think I'm going to have Gordon by a second-round knockout, tires out Garcia, who's going to constantly try to shoot at him. Gordon catches him lacking, second-round knockout.
I'm also taking Gordon because I'm going to go by knockout as well because I looked at the significant strikes and strike is absorbed. I mean, if he's going to absorb those amount of strikes, and he lets get strikes at that clip, I mean, it's going to wear him down, and he's going to end up getting knocked out.
100%. So, co-main, David Martinez going up against Rob Font. Now, the odds on this are tasty. Rob Font, minus 130. Martinez, plus 110. Give me the underdog here, and I'm going to tell you why. 12-1. This is typical of Dana White. He is trying to get Martinez into the rankings. Number 9 ranked fighter in Rob Font, 22-8, a veteran kind of on his way out of mixed martial arts. It's Noche UFC. Martinez from Mexico, fighting an American. 82% of his wins are by knockout. Rob Font kind of likes to play the long game. They both land significant strikes at a relatively similar clip. However, the biggest differentiator is Martinez only absorbs 2.76 strikes per minute and is 67% on his 6-strike defense. If Rob Font's going to absorb roughly 3.5 per minute, Martinez is 100% on his takedown defense. He doesn't go to the ground. This fight is staying on his feet. We're going to have, I'm calling it now, a highlight reel knockout by Martinez in round 1. You went with Font.
I did. I'm going to go with the favorite in this fight, and a big reason, he's got a 3-inch reach advantage, a 4-inch reach advantage.
Now, I did notice that, and that worries me.
And a 3-inch height on the height and a 3-pound difference. And I think that is going to play a little bit more into some of the power and the reach and all that. And I think we're going to go with the favorite here. I don't know how this fight ends, but I'm gonna roll with the favorite.
Fair enough. I think this is what we're all tuning in for here. Fighting nerds, are you back? The dog, he barks way too much on TV. Gene Silva fighting against one of my favorite fighters currently in the UFC, Diego Lopez. Ever since he took that fight against Volk on short notice, I believe it was Volk. I could be completely wrong about that. I was in Mexico when he took the fight. It was on the prayer card. I've become a fan. 4 inches on the height, 3.5 on the reach. And here's what I think comes into play here. It is a 4.5 leg reach advantage. Lopez is going to be able to keep his distance. He's going to piece up Silva. I think this goes to decision, though. This is going to be a full 5 rounds. I think it's going to be a little disappointing to some fight fans. I think both these fighters should be pretty beat up. I've got it going 3-2 in 5 rounds for Diego Lopez, simply because I think he's going to be able to keep the distance. not get caught by Gene Silva, and able to land enough volume to where the judges get on his side.
So I'm rolling with Silva.
I don't blame you. I flirted with it.
And I mean,
I'm a big Fighting Nerds guy.
yeah, that is one of the reasons, because you and Michael a few weeks ago were like, the Fighting Nerds really don't lose that often. And I'm looking at the strikes landed per minute. That's another reason I'm picking Silva. 4.8 strikes landed per minute, only 3.7 for Lopez. And he's got a 5% more on his significant strikes, 52 to 47. And he absorbs less shots, 4.1 to Lopez's 4.7. I think Silva gets out with the win here.
Dude, I would honestly love it. And to be honest with y'all, for those listening in complete parity, I'm absolutely probably going to be betting on Silva at this price. And the price, my betting advice here, if the price stays at plus 200 or more, it's too good of a line to not take, especially with that value. And especially since he can absolutely, now Diego Lopez doesn't really get knocked out, but he could absolutely knock out Diego Lopez and reestablish some Fighting Nerds dominance here in the UFC. All right. It's time to close out our show with one of our favorite segments, Hot and Not. Starting off with Hot, NFL Red Zone. So people last week, including me, were making a big hoopla about the commercials. Luke, do you know how long the total amount lasted on NFL Red Zone last week?
Yes, I do. And it was 1 minute.
1 singular minute. Now, here's the thing. I'm a DraftKings guy, not a FanDuel. It just enticed me to open up the app, dude. I mean, it just reminded me, hey, football's on. Go check the app. Go see how your bed's doing. I had no issue with it all, especially since it didn't take up the whole screen. Split screen, showed the board. Had no issue. If that's what they're going to do consistently throughout, Red Zone, you're hot.
So even to add on to that point, that's not even a commercial. That's an ad. That's like a little screen ad you have there.
Absolutely.
Like, I had no issue with it. I almost put it as my hot, but you obviously stole that from me. So, my hot. Have you ever heard of Who's Next?
I've not.
I know our producer Michael loves Who's Next. He makes a bunch of edits on TikTok.
Oh, yeah. He's back.
Or he is back on a podcast with those two other dudes on the gambling podcast. He's the guy, if y'all have not heard. I need y'all to go watch his edit about Jay Cutler. It is probably...
Yes, that guy. Jay Cutler. Yeah.
Al Shaw. Okay. The best of. He is hilarious. And I see some clips. Like, I'll have to send you some, Will. It's like him talking about, like, the number one, Micah Park. I'm going to just vaguely describe this. It's going to be terrible, but it's talking about who wears number one. He's like, people who wear number ones are douchebags. You don't wear number one. If you're number one, you don't have a family. You just go around flaunting all your stuff. Think of Devin Booker. Think of Kyler Murray.
Hey, whoa. No disrespect on D-Book. This is a Sun side of the podcast.
Oh, I know, but he's basically saying, they just flaunt all their possessions on Instagram. And then they're like asking him, so what number are you wear? I'd wear number fucking one.
So, who's next? Collab?
I wish. That would be my dream. But seriously, go watch.
It's on the map. Who's next?
Go watch that man. He is hilarious.
Absolutely. My knot is the biggest knot in the sports world I have seen recently, and I'm going to call her out by name. Haley Sawyer needs to have her AP vote revoked. If you are going to go on a Zoom call, so some context. Haley Sawyer is an AP voter based out of California who, after losing to USF last week, bumped the Florida Gators up 2 spots from 16 to 14, along with many other flaws in her poll. Said that basically her poll doesn't matter anyway, and it's just for fun. You are playing with G5 teams' income, fan bases, and just the overall integrity of the sport. If you're not going to take this seriously, give up your spot. Give up your vote. Give up your vote to someone who's going to actually take the time, watch the games, do the research, because it's very evident you have done none, and that's why you are my not.
And I also, what she has done for women in sports, like they have been climbing. she just basically was like discrediting everything and kind of kicking them down the mountain because she, like you said, did no research.
I mean, I am all for women in sports. Like there's a UFC female commentator. I can't even remember her name last night. She's great. I mean, she has more ball knowledge than the other two dudes that are on it. But here's the thing. No matter who you are, you've got to know what you're talking about. I mean, there is another AP male veteran out there that I forgot his name. He needs to have his vet revoked too. He just doesn't take it seriously. You have to take this seriously. You are playing with these athletes' lives. The number does matter. And whether you think your one poll won't matter, she said it'll all average out anyway. You're screwing people over, Haley. Please, if you're going to have the vote, take it seriously. If not, give it up. Talk to me about your knot. I love it.
See, I do want to say before I get into this, I have two knots. One of them's not on here because it just happened to me for the second time this week on the way over here. But Ryan Clark, absolute disrespecting any football analyst, like with Peter Schwager, I'm probably butchering that last name. You cannot go on there and just say you don't understand because you didn't play. I mean, that is so disrespectful. He puts probably just as much time and research into this as you did. And like,
if not more.
Yes. And I hate to call out anything about race, but Ryan Clark is a classic A-grade race baiter. If you remember him and RG3's beef a few months ago, I think it was a few months ago, with the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese stuff, like, he was basically just calling RG3 a racist because she was siding with the white guy because he married a white chick. So I'm just saying, I don't think it's very cool. I think ESPN should fire him. Like, I'm all for athletes being on there. But just because someone doesn't play football does not mean anything. Because you got people like, I think it's Chris Berman, right?
Yeah.
The dude on ESPN.
Berman's the legend.
Yes.
He didn't play.
And he didn't play. And then you have Buck, who didn't play, who's great. You have all these announcers because that's who really carries it. They're not just going to give the keys to former athletes and be like, here you go, announce these games. You have all these guys who study this for a living and work their way up the food chain and get to the top so that they can call these games. And that's just disrespectful as hell. I mean.
All right, so tell me about your second knot.
Okay, we live out in Lakeland, and I don't understand what happens. I come home from school, it's dark, or I'm coming home from football practice, it's dark. What are people doing walking in the middle of the street with nothing identifying on?
This does happen in our neighborhood. I can confirm.
Like, they hit you because I'm rounding a corner. Our streets in our neighborhood are very windy.
There's no lights, by the way. It's pitch black.
This woman is walking her dog in the middle of the street. What am I supposed to do if I hit you? If I'm rounding the corner and I'm about to hit, I luckily just got my brakes replaced, so we're good.
Oh, they work? Little test run?
They did work. I did not hit her. I almost rolled down my window and gave her the bird, but
sometimes you let them know.
I was calm, so I just sped off in a rage. So, I mean, it's just the most frustrating thing because it happens all the time. These people, like when I go home, I will probably drive by the same old dude that just walks on Anderson Springs with no identifying stuff on, and it's pitch black. You cannot see these people. I mean, they're already old. They're not athletic enough to jump out of the way. If I'm about to hit them, I'm hitting. That's my other knot. It just infuriates me. So,
well, there you have it. That has been Hot and Not, and that has been episode 5 of Swiss Army Sports. To those of you who listen, thank you. We do greatly appreciate it. This episode was brought to you by Phillips Auto Body, located on U.S. Highway 70 in Bartlett, Tennessee. Get in a wreck, pay them a visit. They do great body work, detailing, paint work. Any of your body needs can be done at Phillips Auto Body. This has been Will Spain and Luke Wallman signing off until Sunday. Good night.